How y'all doing? So let's talk about this WWE versus the virus situation. So on June 15th, it was announced. Let's say I'm using Pro Wrestling Sheet. WWE has confirmed a developmental talent tested positive for COVID-19. Therefore, everyone on site will be tested immediately out of caution. The company released a statement from WWE's associate medical director, Dr. Jeffrey Dugas, which explains the following. A developmental talent who was last on site at WWE's training facility on Tuesday, June the 9th, has tested positive for COVID-19. Since that time, no other individuals that attended the facility have reported symptoms. However, out of an abundance of caution and to ensure the health and safety of the company's performers and staff, all talent, production crew, and employees on site at the training and production facilities will be tested for COVID-19 immediately. Following the test results, WWE plans to proceed with its normal television production schedule. NXT wrestlers, and well, that was the end of Jerry Dugas' statement. Then we have NXT wrestlers and performance center trainees first started being used as audience members last month. This would be May. WWE did not confirm which wrestler tested positive. They didn't even say it was a wrestler. It says it's a trainee, so that could, who knows. But one source did clarify that the person is in question is a PC trainee, not someone on NXT TV. According to Post Wrestling's John Pollock, WWE tapings at the Performance Center tomorrow, which I guess would be June the 15th. June 16th would be Tuesday, which would be today, the day I'm recording this video. This is likely being done to allow time for testing to take place. So that was one of the initial things that came out. Now this blew up, of course, because how could things not blow up? All right, these things always become a bigger deal than they really are. We could get into. I don't really want to get into it about this whole virus thing, but this panic every time one person tests positive and we have to turn it into like it's fucking Ebola is kind of ridiculous, man. Like it's really ridiculous. But okay, so let's flip over to Fightful. This is Fightful, June 16th, 2020. On Mondays, Raw, WWE allowed some extra personnel. This is written by Jeremy Lambert. On Mondays, Raw, WWE allowed some extra personnel into the building, along with the usual Performance Center recruits. WWE had 9 employees in the crowd as well. The non-PC recruits were friends of the roster. Okay, so there were extras on Raw this week because I saw some old guy, and I knew it looked like more people than usual. Okay, so according to Louis Dangor of Wrestle Talk, a reputable news source, WWE talent didn't know that the non-roster members would be allowed inside the Performance Center for the show. Okay. Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer asked that those in the crowd were not allowed to wear a mask. WWE started using PC recruits as ringside fans over the last few weeks, and during that time, very few, if any, have been shown on camera wearing a mask. I haven't seen any wear a mask on TV. I don't think that they would put you on TV if you're wearing a mask. WWE sent out a memo in April telling talent to wear a mask at the Performance Center, but noted that the mask would be removed when the cameras were rolling. Dave Meltzer said people were told not to come if they wanted to wear a mask on Monday. They were told not to come, and they were told that they were not allowed to wear a mask. Near the end of Raw, WWE announced a developmental talent had tested positive for COVID-19 10 days ago. Almost 10 days ago, by the way. As previous reported, WWE had not been testing for COVID-19, only checking temperatures and testing for other measures as talent entered the Performance Center. WWE canceled Tuesday's tapings to test all talent and staff. Mojo Rawley took to social media to confirm that he has been tested. Fightful had learned that ongoing testing has been taking place all morning until 2 p.m. WWE sent out the following, disputing the claims from Meltzer. Fans have not been in attendance at WWE live events since March the 13th. Yesterday, which would be June the 15th, a select number of friends and family were permitted to attend WWE's TV production. These individuals were required to participate in medical screenings prior to entering the closed set at our training facility and were kept apart from in-ring performers and production personnel. Attendance was below 20%. Capacity and social distancing guidelines were adhered to with at least 6 feet between parties. Thus, face masks were not required. Okay, so Then they go into the John Alba. I'm gonna get into the John Alba things myself. So let's talk about this last piece here. WWE statement. See, fans have not been in attendance. Okay, that's true. Attendance was below 20%. Okay, that's true. Now, social distancing guidelines were adhered to. Now, this is usually the tripping part because people like to talk about the Street Profits, which on the episode of Raw in question, the Street Profits went behind the barricades, the plexiglass, to do their gimmick. They dance with the crowd. That's what they do. So the Street Profits did this gimmick on Raw, and people use this as if to say that WWE is lying and that they were not keeping people apart, even though we don't know whether the Street Profits did this on their own or whether they were told to do this. We have no idea. So here he goes. It's worth. This is a different article from Pro Wrestling Sheet. It's worth noting that despite WWE's statements, the Street Profits were shown on camera last night dancing beside some of the friends and family in the crowd, as well as PC trainees. As we previously reported, a developmental talent tested positive for COVID-19. Production was then stopped to allow everyone who was in the building to get tested. Testing has been happening today. Following the test results, WWE plans to pursue its normal television schedule, blah, 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 blah. Right? So apparently the Street Profits blew up the spot, right? Now, that just goes to show, but let's we're going to get to that part. So let's keep talking about the fans right quick. So John Alba, who I guess works at he's been doing a lot of WWE stuff since they've been in the Performance Center. I'm guessing he's a reporter of some reputation from the Orlando area. He was one of the people who was first talking about WWE's situation as far as whether people were going to be allowed in the Performance Center and whether they wanted. He's the one who reported the anonymous person who said they were forced to work during the pandemic and all this stuff. So he's been on top of it. So here's what John Alba says. These are tweets, by the way. Multiple fans in attendance at Monday's WWE tapings tell me they were not told they couldn't wear masks. Several reports in the last 24 hours have indicated they were told they couldn't wear them. WWE has released the following statement to me, my News 13 on the matter. It's in really small print. I don't know. I probably should have told you guys from the beginning, but I have really bad vision problems. That's why I stutter so much when I'm reading, because it's hard for me to read and see at the same time. So the print was too small on that for me to read. So we're gonna skip it. He continues. The fans I spoke to told me they were never felt pressured by WWE not to wear a mask for TV purposes or any other reason. They confirmed temperature checks and signed waivers. One noted they were in a group that had masks on them and chose not to wear them when taping started. Those I spoke to didn't find out about the positive COVID-19 test by WWE developmental talent until after the tapings. While WWE personnel were tested today, the fans, quote unquote, were not tested, informed they had to get tested. Those I spoke to were invited back for more tapings this week. It was also noted to me that there were sanitation stations on site, and the sources I spoke to all told me they felt safe at the tapings and would attend again, even after the news of the positive COVID-19 test. Ugh. They were not tested for coronavirus, though, just temperature checks. While the WWE statement says fans were kept apart from performers, there were multiple times performers who went into the crowd during the tapings, including the Street Profits who danced with the fans. This was not 6 feet apart. For those asking, I do not know how the mask situation applies to talent. I can only speak to those who were in attendance as fans, all of whom unanimously said they were never told they could not wear one if they wanted to, and no one felt pressured not to wear one. Okay, so that is the situation on the masks and the testing. They're not testing people for COVID-19. They are just doing temperature checks, which is what they've been doing the entire time. And people kind of forgot about that, right? So there's a lot of people who are making a big deal out of this thing. So here's the thing about COVID-19. A lot of these wrestlers have not been taking it seriously from the beginning. Okay, again, so Angel Garza in a tweet during the start of the fucking pandemic said that wellness is all in the mind or something to that extent. So he did not take this shit seriously from the beginning. The wrestlers who have been taking it seriously, I guess, Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, they've stayed home. So to be quite honest, it seems to be most people don't care. My further evidence of people not giving a shit are Truth. Went to a protest, a Black Lives Matter protest in Charlotte. Okay, he went to this protest and he was not wearing a mask. I will be providing a picture of him at this protest in the for the thumbnail of this video. So there's a lot of people who don't give a shit. Okay, now of course fans are being screaming Karens. They're making a big deal about this. Oh my God, I can't believe you don't care so much about people's wellness. It's like, dude, come on. This thing is not for starters. There's multiple states that are opening up now. Florida has been pretty much open the entire time. But then you also had, of course, your massive 3-week protests. Okay, so you had people coughing and sneezing on top of each other in large groups of hundreds. And it's not just protests, because they are still doing pride parades as well. Okay, so because it is Pride Month, so they're still doing pride parades. There's people been outside dancing and singing on top of each other, people hugging and laying on top of each other. And it's been going on for 3 weeks. And guess all of these people, right? The governors of Oregon, the governor of Washington, the governor of Michigan, the governor of New York, the governors of Florida, the governor of Texas, all these states have done fuck all nothing to stop people from gathering in large groups over the course of the last couple of weeks. The World Health Organization and the CDC lost all reputation, if they even had any, when they started saying that, well, despite that COVID-19 is a public health crisis, racism is a bigger public health crisis. So, sure, go on with your protests, even though everybody's supposed to be on lockdown. Go on with your protests. Go and be in large numbers, even though we closed everything and said people can't be in large numbers. This is all a fucking joke, okay? This is a big fucking joke. Anybody who's mad about this is fucking stupid, okay? Or they're just a concern troll. This is not a big deal. This is the second person to test positive since WWE has been running shows, and they never stopped running shows. And both times it was Performance Center or ancillary talent, nobody in the main roster. People have gone on living their lives, man. Like people have just gone on, man. People have gone living their lives. People who want to continue making this a big deal, they need the news. Like these news sites, man, like Fightful and Pro Wrestling Sheet, they ain't got nothing against them. But ultimately, they require for you to be biting on this stuff. Like for you to continue reading about it and being so interested and engaged, and that you being angry about it. It's like, really, who cares? If the Street Profits were really worried about their health, 1, they probably wouldn't have been there. 2, they likely would not have gone into the crowd. These guys are not that concerned. Okay, they don't care. They're healthy. They're athletes. If they get to catch the sniffles, who cares? Like we're still like, some of the world is still locked down, but most pro sports is trying to come back. UFC is back. Okay, most pro sports are trying to come back. The WNBA, they're coming back. They talking about a 22 game season. They're coming back. Why are we still having this conversation? I didn't even mention AEW. Well, I did mention AEW because did I mention that AEW had children on site 2 months ago or something like that? And then you had Cody bleeding all over people, which is unsanitary as fuck, pandemic or not. They had 70 some odd year old Jake Roberts in the ring. Like we can go on and on about this stuff. Ric Flair is also in the ring on this same episode of Raw, where this person apparently, the Raw where this event took place, where the Street Profits went through the crowd. Ric Flair was there. He's in his 70s. Like there's a lot of people who just don't give a shit. People don't give a shit. They're really ready to end this lockdown and move on. Okay. And look, I get that some people might be concerned, but ultimately, it seems to me that a lot of people are over it. Whether it's in wrestling or not. Whether it's in wrestling or outside of wrestling, people are over it. If this was some type of flesh-eating virus that was killing people by the tens of millions or whatever the hell, people would not have been out there protesting. They wouldn't have. They would not have. People would have quit their jobs instead of going to work. Okay, but you know, this doesn't make any sense. And I'm trying to be respectful of people who might be fearful. But when you projecting your fear onto other people, you need to stop it. Just stop. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if I missed anything. There might, again, I'm recording this. Who knows what might come out after this. But I'm recording this on a Tuesday, June 16th. And we're going to be uploading immediately. So I'll let you guys, I probably won't be doing any follow-ups. Because, again, people don't take this shit seriously. There's no reason to continue doing updates with this. People were just outside. Michigan is open now. You know, Michigan is a state that, well, it's not open like everything is open. But, you know, you can go into a restaurant and stuff now. This is not that big of a deal anymore. You know, people are still wearing masks or whatever. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer talked about people not being allowed to wear masks. People need to stop listening to these guys. Okay? Stop listening to Meltzer and Alvarez. Please stop listening to them. Okay? Make sure that you double check whatever you got. For starters, man, let's say that what they say is true and that people were not allowed to wear masks. If they were that scared, they would just put them on home. Because I'm pretty sure they didn't pay for a ticket. Right? They just let the people there to make noise. That's all they're there for, is to make noise, man. But whatever. Be cautious if that's what you want to be. But quarantine means taking the sick party away from everybody else, not taking everybody away from everybody. That doesn't make sense. But this is my real sign off. I'll talk to you guys later. Let me know in the comment section if anything pops up after this video is uploaded. And I'll talk to you guys later.